The air inside the Ducati garage, usually a climate-controlled environment of calculated precision and quiet, simmering confidence, turned volcanic after the Jerez GP. A raw, emotional explosion reportedly shattered the post-race silence when Davide Tardozzi, the typically unflappable team manager, let his fury flow and aimed it directly at Pecco Bagnaia. It wasn't just a heated exchange. It was a moment so startling that it instantly lit up the rumor mill, sparking immediate speculation about fractures within the most dominant force MotoGP has seen in years. And so, the question that now hangs over the paddock like a storm cloud, with underwhelming results piling up and internal tensions rising like a fever, is this the first tremor of a major internal battle, one that could shake Ducati's entire season to its foundations? Let's pull apart that question thread by thread. The start of the 2026 MotoGP season has served up surprises that nobody, least of all Ducati, saw coming. The team that once seemed to treat podiums as a birthright, the Ducati Lenovo squad, has looked anything but dominant. This isn't a mere stumble out of the gates, it's a pattern. Poor results have accumulated with an almost morbid reliability, culminating in the latest round where yet again, they failed to secure so much as a spot on the podium. And that's not a bad run of form, that's a warning sign painted in neon. As the pressure mounts, the emotional dam has finally burst. Tardozzi, a man known for his fierce loyalty and protective nature over his riders, is reported to have unleashed his frustration right there in the paddock, a raw, unfiltered reaction that speaks volumes about the depth of the crisis now engulfing Ducati. The latest race didn't just go badly, it served as a perfect, chaotic snapshot of everything going wrong. A team that once controlled the front of the grid with surgical authority suddenly looked brittle, fragile under pressure, as if they had lost their compass at the very moment they should have been dictating the terms of engagement. Consider the two-car garage nightmare. Marc Marquez, the jewel in Ducati's crown, the rider expected to lead their resurgence this season, was forced into an early shower after crashing out in the opening laps. That incident didn't just erase his chance of fighting at the front, it added yet another scar to the team's growing list of afflictions. The colossal expectations placed on his shoulders collapsed in a matter of seconds, leaving only rhetorical rubble. Meanwhile, on the other side of the garage, Bagnaia suffered a fate just as disappointing, but for an entirely different reason. Not a rider error, not a battle lost on track, but a technical issue, a gremlin in the machinery that forced him to withdraw. That situation highlights a terrifying truth for Ducati: their problems go far deeper than rider performance. They cut into the very bone and sinew of the bike package. One crashed, one retired. Two different scenarios, same bitter, empty outcome. The result? Ducati once again leaves with zero podium champagne. That's not a minor setback, it's a five-alarm fire for their championship ambitions. This toxic cocktail of poor results spread over several rounds has triggered waves of pressure from every direction. The towering expectations of fans, the cold performance demands from upper management, and the increasingly ferocious competition from rivals have turned the inside of the Ducati Lenovo team into a pressure cooker. What makes it even more maddening and complex is that the Desmos Desai bike itself still shows flashes of blistering competitive potential. The single-lap pace is there. The telemetry data in certain sectors doesn't reflect a team in decline. Yet strangely, none of these advantages translate into maximum race results. It's an irony that is beginning to raise serious, uncomfortable questions throughout the entire MotoGP paddock. Failing to secure podiums in the opening rounds isn't just about points in the standings. It directly impacts rider confidence, crew morale, and the very stability of the team's internal ecosystem. So it's no surprise that Tardozzi's emotions finally erupted. That wasn't a spontaneous tantrum, it was a pressure gauge blowing its top, a clear sign that something fundamental within the team is broken. Mid the escalating heat, Tardozzi reportedly couldn't hold back any longer. With a raised voice and frustration bleeding through every word, he directed his anger straight at Bagnaia. "This is not our level, Pecco, we cannot keep going like this," Tardozzi said, his tone firm and cutting. "This bike has the potential to win, but we're not maximizing it on track. We're losing too many points, and that is simply unacceptable." He even went further, emphasizing that even the smallest mistakes now carry massive consequences in this era of razor-thin margins. "You know how important every race is this season. One mistake alone can destroy everything. We need full focus, not excuses." That moment grabbed the entire paddock's attention because internal conflict within the Ducati garage is rarely exposed so openly. Tardozzi's intense reactions seem to confirm that the pressure inside the team has not just reached a boiling point, it has exploded. But here's the twist. Amid all the turmoil and hand-wringing inside the Ducati Lenovo team, the spotlight has instead shifted to a completely different figure delivering an extraordinary and unexpected performance. Alex Marquez emerged as the standout star of the 2026 Spanish MotoGP at Jerez. A display so impressive, so complete, that it didn't just win a race, it reshaped the competitive landscape in a single weekend. His performance was so rock-solid that it earned direct praise from Marco Bezzecchi, a rival not known for handing out excessive credit. In fact, Bezzecchi described Alex's ride as something approaching perfection. And at the MotoGP level, the word perfect is not thrown around lightly. Fierce competition, mental pressure, and microscopic margins for error almost always leave room for at least one tiny flaw. Yet in this race, Alex delivered a near-flawless performance, as if operating on a completely different plane from the rest of the grid. His pace remained metronomically consistent from lights out to the checkered flag. He didn't force excessive aggression, but at the same time he left absolutely no room for rivals to even sniff an opportunity. Every lap was executed with remarkable precision, calm, consistent, and fully under control. It was a level of race maturity rarely seen even among world champions. The combination of intelligent tire management, surgically clean racing lines, and pinpoint braking made him virtually untouchable throughout the entire race distance. More than just a victory, this performance sent a powerful, unambiguous message. Alex Marquez is no longer just Marc's younger brother. He is now a genuine threat in the fight for the front positions in this MotoGP season. This impressive display is a clear statement that Alex is entering the most mature phase of his premier-class career. For several seasons, he was often seen as a talented rider who hadn't fully maximized his potential, despite his proven pedigree as a Moto3 and Moto2 world champion. Now, that narrative is being rewritten in real time. In this race, Alex delivered a far more complete approach. He wasn't just fast, he was intelligent in reading the race's evolving situations. He appeared more mature in his decision-making, calmer under pressure, and increasingly efficient in managing his race pace from start to finish. Most notably, his confidence is now clearly visible, something that has long been the defining factor separating a good rider from a true championship contender. If he can maintain this level of consistency over the next few rounds, his status will rise significantly, perhaps even into the conversation of dark horse title contenders. The impact of Ducati's poor start is already being felt in the standings. Francesco Bagnaia, once a consistent title favorite, now has to fight an uphill battle just to stay in contention. Meanwhile, Marc Marquez has yet to show the expected consistency since joining Ducati. Crashes and technical issues have cost him valuable points that should have been secured. This situation has only intensified the pressure, not just internally within the team but externally from the media, from increasingly skeptical fans and from rivals who smell blood in the water. Now all eyes are on Ducati. They still possess significant resources both in terms of technical capability and rider quality, but time is not on their side. If these issues are not resolved quickly, the gap in the standings could widen even further. Meanwhile, their rivals are starting to build momentum, and Alex Marquez has already proven just how dangerous consistency can be at the highest level. The season is still long, but the pressure is already mounting from the very first corner. Will Ducati be able to bounce back, rediscover their winning formula, and return to the top step? Or is this the beginning of the collapse of their MotoGP dominance, the slow, painful unraveling of an empire? The grid is watching, the fans are guessing, and somewhere in the dark heart of the Ducati garage, the echoes of Tardozzi's fury still linger. Share your thoughts below.